Alright, welcome to How to Become TV. My name's Jace, and this is where wannabe coders become pro. What do you do to stand out from the crowd when you want to apply to become a Googler? Well, it turns out that it's not so much about where you studied, contrary to popular opinion. It's more about how you can show that you can learn how to learn. Listen to Alan Paulin, a recent hire from Googler, tell it like it is.
If you can prove that you're smart, that you can solve problems, then we know you can learn about agile technologies. We know you can learn a new language. We know you can learn a new platform like Android, perhaps. The sky's the limit as long as you can prove that you can learn.
This is howtobecome.tv.
My name is Alan Paulin. I'm a software developer at Google.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
What is Googleyness? Is it real? Turns out yes.
So Google has something called Googleyness. You won't see a definition anywhere. I don't think there is a definition, but it's really a culture of team and a culture of helping each other. You know, you're rewarded just as much for bringing other people up as you are for your own successes, and we all win and lose as teams and as a company. And so, you know, when someone is very googly, they're really doing something for the team, and even for beyond the team, for the community and other outreach programs.
Now I want to know, was there any truth to the articles I read online about Google asking crazy hard questions in their job interviews? You're the size of a pencil in a blender that's about to be turned on in 10 seconds. What do you do?
So for the most part, we don't do brain teasers anymore. It was kind of a thing of the past. Most of the questions now would be along the lines of some form of algorithm that we'd like you to write, or some kind of problem that it is realistic to solve, but does require some both knowledge of you know, data structures and algorithms, as well as usually there's some bit of intuition or cunningness to actually find the problem that you can solve in the fastest time, or the lowest complexity, to actually get something that is that we could actually use in real life, as opposed to kind of a brute force technique.
Now, Google's interview process is notoriously intense and exhausting. Alan tells us how best to prepare for it.
And a lot of the questions are academic in nature. And so I actually went back and brushed up on some of the things that I felt was important in my schooling. You know, various data structures, various algorithms. You can see a whole slew of past interview questions on the web. You won't see those questions asked anymore once they hit the web, but they are great practice questions for finding out what's been asked in the past and what people have thought of the answers. I think there was more intimidation leading up to it than actually in the interview. The interviewers are actually, you know, they're down-to-earth software engineers like you and me. They, you know, they want you to feel comfortable in there. They are going to ask you questions that you may not know the answer to immediately, but for the most part, and that certainly happened in my interviews as well, by the end of the interview, you know, I found a way to work through the solution and come up with something. And oftentimes there's some back and forth in there, no, I mean, once you're in there, they want you to succeed. Yeah, they range in from coding to design to something that you might call systems design, and you know, you work through it the way I would, you know, probably a little bit more vocally than I would if I was given the problem right now. And you know, you're on a whiteboard. You can talk it out with the interviewer who is asking you the question. You can you know, write things down on the board. You can, you know, certainly encourage you to even talk to yourself. Talk about what you're thinking and how it's going. If the interviewer can see your thought pattern, that's a great thing, because they know that, you know, if you're in the real world and you hit a problem that you can't solve, the first thing you're going to go and do is talk with one of your coworkers, and if they can already see how far you've gotten into it and see what lines of thinking you've already gone down, then that's probably the best way they can do to help you out and actually work on a problem together.
We all need to face a painful reality. Trying to get hired by a high-profile tech company like Google the traditional way of submitting a resume, waiting for the phone screen interview, is really hard. Alan Paulin speaks about a smarter way to get Google's attention.
That's a good question. Definitely being able to stand out in terms of something that you've built yourself, whether it's an app, whether it's a site, whether it's something creative. You know, finding ways to basically bring yourself out so that you can show someone something and say, this is what I did, this is what I am capable of doing. Not everyone actually has the jump start in them to go out there and do something on their own, and so you immediately create a new bar when you can go and say, look, this was all me, or even if this was me and a buddy. either of those are great things for doing. And if you want to do it on Android as an app, it's a great way to get involved. Anyone can then go and download it and experience the work you've done.
Anything to add that I haven't asked that would help a new developer?
Definitely hard work pays off, and I wish the best to everyone out there. There's some great jobs out there. Google's definitely a great place to work, and we look forward to kind of the biggest and best minds in the future.
This is howtobecome.tv.